Hey there, it is July 6th, 2025, and I am looking at realtors.com. And forgive my voice is cutting in and out today. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. Not a lot of new listings this week, the first week of July. I am going to focus on this listing here, which is 4739 North Stutz Road, Manistique. If you look at the map, it is somewhat in the center. Let me zoom out here. It's kind of in the center, in between Manistique and Munising here in this light green area. We have 40 acres for $105,000 with a small 480 square foot cabin. It's been listed for 10 days. It is off grid. It is on a year-round road and is close to trails. It does have a pitcher hand pump, non-potable water, and an outhouse. It is wooded and it comes with everything you need to get started. So go ahead and flick through some pictures here. They have a refrigerator, looks like. Wood stove, regular stove. Some light fixtures. Not sure what that is. So this one, I did want to look up the parcel to see where it is exactly. And sometimes they show the tax ID number in the details here, but I didn't find it. So I did a search online for this listing and I found it on another realtor website. And they actually did have the parcel number included right here. So I was able to go to Schoolcraft County and then find their zoning map and find which parcel this is. So it is this one right here. 216. Let me just make sure. 50052160002. So this one, so you can see the road does kind of go through the middle. But this will give you who owns it now. And you can see their mailing address. You can see what the assessed value is right now. So they're paying taxes on $27,100. You can see there's a couple sales. So it looks like Daniel and Deborah put this into a trust in 2020. And then in 2019, it looks like it was in the name of one of the logging companies. So they haven't had this too long. You can also, Schoolcraft County has their parcel map out there, and I looked this up. So right here is that parcel with the road going through, and this is considered resource production. So you can get the zoning ordinance for the county, and you can look up resource production, and you can see what all the zoning rules are for this one. So here's the zoning rules for that property, and that gives you the types of things you can do with this is without permission, and then these are conditional, which means you can do them. You just have to get permission from the county. And there's very little in this specific section. You'd want to read the entire thing and see what all is pertinent to this zoning district if you're interested in this one. And then this is the Onyx Hunt map that I have that shows you federal land around the property. So it's showing this piece over here separate for some reason, but all of this green is open hunting to the public. So this does border public hunting land, so you'd want to be careful to post your border so you don't have people walking into your property hunting on you. Michigan does have a website where you can go and see what land is publicly available to hunt. So you can see here's the white square that is this property, and then the green around is the state game wildlife area. And then the brown commercial forest is also public hunting land. So this is pretty much surrounded by public hunting. So you'd want to, again, make sure you're aware of that if you're out there. And this is my Schoolcraft County sheet. I have this property added. They're asking $105,000 for this, which is $2,625 off grid. And it does have the 480 square foot cabin. And it does come with a generator. And I'm going to add surrounded by federal land because I think that's important to know that you could have people wandering around. This is VV mapping, my desktop version for my computer, and you can see the trails that are available for ORV. So here is that Smith Lake and Highwater Truck Road, and you can see that bump in this white area. Half of this is essentially the property we were just looking at. So this is a trail, and if you go north, you can get to the bigger trail system. Anything that's purple you can ride on. So it is a good trail area. And this property is in Manistique Township, and you can go to Michigan's property tax estimator to find out what the taxes would be on this for you. The realtors like to always put what the current taxes are. Annual tax 308 sounds like a good deal, but what they don't tell you is that when you buy a property, that number pretty much doesn't exist anymore. You're going to be paying tax on the assessed value. So if you were to pay $100,000 for this and you go to the property tax estimator, I have a link here to it. Basically, you put in the county, the township, what the assessed value would be, which is generally 50% of what you paid for the property. So if you were to live on this property year-round and get the homestead exemption, your taxes would be $1,178. And if you were treating this as a second home and not living here full-time without the exemption, you'd be paying $2,087 a year in property taxes, which is a far cry from 308. So always check the property tax estimator because the way Michigan is set up, you're never going to pay what the actual current owner is paying unless they just happen to buy it within the last couple years. It may be close, but most likely these people have had this land for a long time and they've been paying taxes on whatever the value was, back it says 1950 was when this was built. So the taxes haven't adjusted in a long time, 75 years. So they've got a really good deal, and you're not going to have a good deal. You're going to pay the 2087 most likely a year, which is a lot more than 300. So just know that. And that's what I had today. I thought this property looked pretty good for trail access and having everything there. 40 acres is really nice. Definitely could use some finishing touches and maybe a better outhouse. Um, but it looks to be in a good area with some water nearby, trails. So you might check it out if you're looking for something like this.